There's one thing I think that every single man should do in his life at least one time, and that is going to be going into a period of solitude to really grow and develop and become the person that you want to be. See, when you're mixed into social life, you're constantly doing this and that and partying, seeing this girl doing this, and you're just trying to balance this life, and it can be a little bit chaotic. You don't really have that time to develop and become the person that you want to be. So what I believe is that a period of solitude can advance you in life, months, something that takes you years normally you can do in months time and really integrate this new thing into your personality. So to tell you how this has changed my life, I have done 3 periods of solitude. I guess you could call them kind of like monk modes. So for example, the first time I did this, I had just gotten broken up with. I was completely crushed and I was just in a really low point in my life. And at this point, I discovered self improvement from like specifically Hamza, Tate, Jap Hopkins was a up and coming guy on YouTube who I was watching. So these guys, especially Hamza though, he really taught me a lot about, reading, meditating, journaling, all these things that completely changed my life. So for me, that first monk mode period was devoted to self improvement, getting myself out of that rut that I was in from that breakup, and developing myself into a new and better person. And I 100% accomplished that. I also started my own self improvement channel, which was focused, really on just bettering yourself, talking about girls, things like that. And I'd actually gotten 6K followers on TikTok as well as 500 on YouTube. But at that point, I still lacked a lot of business experience. I tried entrepreneurial ventures in the past, but failed them. And so I really didn't know how to transfer the success I had on social media into something tangible. So I had to temporarily put that on the shelf, and I was going to come back to social media at a later point, which is what I'm doing now. So after that first monk mode, one of the things I really needed to do once I built up my confidence was integrate myself into social life and starting to build my social confidence, because before this, I was an extremely shy person. So that's what I did. I built up that confidence. I was going to different places. I went to Sweden, Florida, really was doing a lot of cold approaching. I was taking on sales jobs, really just expanding in that social realm, which obviously you can't do in solitude. But I needed the period of solitude to first build my confidence as a person and really start stacking those wins for myself so I could feel comfortable in my own skin, which is what it allowed me to do. So it was extremely successful. And without that period of solitude, I honestly don't know where I would be today. And this takes us into my second monk mode. So this time I'd actually used that social life success that I was having, and I took it a little bit too far with partying and a little bit too much degenerate things. So I needed to take a period away from that. And I also wanted to learn something during this time. So what I did was I took that time to be completely sober. I didn't drink a single sip of alcohol for the 2.5 months that I spent in the mountains. And what I also really wanted to further was my trading knowledge. So I've been learning trading since 14 years old, but I hadn't really had too much success with it, to the point where it was like something I was constantly bringing in money and I'd have wins here, there, and then losses. So I really wanted to learn about money, trading, and all these things specifically. So I took this period of time. I think I read like 11 or 12 books in just 2.5 months. I really dove into a lot about stocks. And then I was actually able to have from that a super successful summer, because I did this in the springtime, of trading, and I made a lot of good money. I was doing a lot of cash secured puts on Tesla, and I was able to fund my lifestyle for that next summer and really just have a good time, and all that was worth it in the end of the day. So this takes us to the third monk mode, which was for business. So at this point, I said I've tried entrepreneurial ventures in the past, had some success with some of them, failed others, and now I really felt like all my social confidence, all my sales abilities that I've been developing over the years, and it was time for me to start my own business. This is something I really wanted to do. So once again, I went into the mountains, took that period of solitude, spent 2.5 months, and I came out of it with a successful business. In just 2 months' time, I made 5K profit in just 1 week within the 2 months of starting the business. So I was well on my path to having many successful 10K months and things like that since then. But it wouldn't have been if I didn't eliminate all distractions. I rarely saw my friends in New York at that time. And just completely dedicate myself to this. I was spending ridiculous amounts of time, working every single day, weekends, morning till night to develop this and get everything up and running. And I really think that that period of solitude was absolutely essential for me to actually have this success and build that momentum before I integrated myself into social life, because I've 100% seen there be more difficulties since getting into social life, wanting to party and hang out with friends and meet girls and do all these things. When you take that time to just focus on one thing, it just allows you to get miles ahead of the competition, which is essential, especially if you're trying to start a business or something like that. So the moral of the story is that a period of solitude can really advance you as a person. Especially if you're a man, I feel like you need to at least do this 1 or 2 times and really just develop yourself. Or if there's something you really feel like you need to do to get ahead in life, is take that time to do it. So every single one of my monk modes or periods of isolation has exponentially gotten me ahead in life. So I'd highly recommend you do this. It's something that you will not regret. In the moment, it can be difficult. There's going to be a lot of hard times. Being in solitude can be very difficult, but it's going to fortify your mind. And imagine how good you're going to feel after you come out of this period of solitude. You get to reintegrate yourself into social life with all these new wins. And every single time I've done that, it feels so good, it's so rewarding, and it's worth it every single time. So that is all for this video. I hope you experience one period of solitude in your life where you really advance yourself and get ahead. Let me know if you have any questions down below, or if you have any experiences similar to this, and then we can talk about them in the comments. Have a great day, everyone. This is all for this video.